Hey guys, how you doing? Bringer here. Got another aircraft carrier preview video for you today. Since you guys responded so well to the last one I did, you guys seem really interested in these upcoming aircraft carriers, so we're going to be going over the American aircraft carrier line today in more detail. I'm pulling my stats disclaimer from the computer version of the game. We're only going to be looking at the armor view, the speed of the ships, and the type of aircraft on the ships, because everything else could change with the ranges and whatnot. The concealment and stuff will probably change because of the map being smaller on Legends. But the speeds and everything else match up for all these other ships like they do on Legends, so the speed should be good. The armor viewer, there's really no reason for them to change the armor viewer because they're the same on here too. So we're going to go over the short history of the ship, aircraft, armor viewer, be first look at the armor viewer, and speed here. So if you guys are enjoying these type of videos, consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a like, leave a comment below, let me know how you feel about the carriers. Alright, first up, got the Langley. She entered service in 1922, one ship in the series. The first U.S. naval aircraft carrier, Langley was converted from a collier coal ship. She had low speed and was used for an experimental ship for testing various technological innovations as well as for training Navy pilots. The carrier was equipped with secondary armament to repel attacks from enemy destroyers. Have a looky go at her. That is not the right ship. Langley, preview. Alright, so that's a look at her. Armor layout. She don't have any armor. But take that bow off there. I do like this. Just this superstructure. That's your conning tower. Two little smokestacks. But she's got layered deck here. They might be thin, but she's got layers till you get to the Citadel deck. So the carriers are going to be pretty good against plunging fire. You have multiple decks you have to pierce through to hit the Citadel. Yeah, she's the same on both sides. Close that up. Aircraft. Her attack aircraft are F-3F Gulf Hawks, torpedo bombers T-4Ms, bombers SBU Corsairs. Maneuverability, maximum speed 15 knots because she was a coal ship. Like I said, we're not going to look at none of these other stats because those are subject to change. All this is subject to change, but I think it's going to carry over just fine. So real quick before we get on to the Ranger, I was talking to somebody in a chat the other day, and we both started thinking that since the Langley was showed as a tier 3 in the trailer video, and the Ranger equivalent for the Japanese was a tier 5, we might be looking for 3 carriers on the branch, so like 3, 5, 7 for Lexington, and then Midway being a legendary ship possibly. Just theory though, just theory, because Midway is very strong. So Ranger entered service 1934, ships in the series 1. The first U.S. aircraft carrier of special construction. The ship carried a large air group. The carrier speed was quite high for her type. Her drawbacks included a lack of torpedo protection and impractical arrangement of aircraft elevators, which slowed down the handling of air groups. She looks like a more traditional aircraft carrier. Armor layout. "19mm forward end, 25mm deck. Click off some of this stuff here. She has a little bit of armor there. 51's her thickest armor. Nothing great. Take off the deck. That's what you're left with for the Citadel. Above the waterline again. Aircraft. Her attack aircraft are Brewster's F-2A Buffaloes. Torpedo bombers T-4Ms. Bombers SBC Hell Divers. Quick look at the aircraft here. Those are torpedo bombers. Speed 29.5 knots. She has quite a bit of anti-air gun fire. These aren't nothing great. And that's the Ranger. Moving on to Lexington. Lexington entered service 1927, ships in the Series 2. When commissioned, Lexington was one of the largest aircraft carriers in existence. She was converted from an unfinished battlecruiser. The ship had good armor and advanced torpedo protection. Owing to her dimensions, the aircraft carrier was equipped with a very spacious hangar and was armed with numerous AAA and dual-purpose artillery. The ship's powerful propulsion created very high speeds. Armor layout. Lexington's pretty unique here. As for her side here, she has a nice armor belt. Which is different. It's pretty unique to the ship here. Let's look at all of her armor. Deck, 25mm deck. Conning Tower's got 57 mils. 18mm forward end. Citadel 32. As you can see, she's got layers you got to go through. You got the 25mm deck to get through. Excuse me. Casemate armor deck, another 13. And then you get the Citadel deck, 51. So this multi-layer here, especially with the American here, it's going to help against some plunging fire. Make the shell detonate between decks before it hits your Citadel. It's going to arm those shells. Look at the aircraft here. Tech aircraft, get the F6F Hellcats. Those are going to be on the back, correct? Yeah. Torpedo bombers. Get the TBF Avengers. Bombers, get the SBD Dauntless. Lexington's going to be cruising at 33 knots, keeping up with everybody. These type of speeds, the battleships will be able to outrun destroyers. Destroyers going to have the speed boost or something to have a chance of catching up. At least buy you time to get away. That's old Lexington. She's a nice looking girl. you guys are liking these type of videos. I enjoy making them. There we go. Let's have a look at the Midway now. Entered service 1945. Ships in the Series 3. The largest U.S. Navy warship laid down during World War II. The huge size of this aircraft carrier allowed her to carry the largest air group compared to her contemporary counterparts. Excellent torpedo protection, well-armored flight deck, and a powerful AA defense made Midway-class ships virtually invulnerable to attacks from enemy aircraft. Let's just have a look at this bad boy. The amount of anti-air fire on this thing is ridiculous. And it's not your small guns. I mean, you got the Bofors all over it. 127s. There's your quad Bofer. More little guns in here. Let's have a look at Lexington or Midway's armor layout. As you can see, Midway is very well armored. I mean, only 19mm bow, but you're always going to be at range, you know, as far as way as you can, hopefully, from deadly threats. So you're going to be taking plunging fire more often than not, probably. And enemy bombers and stuff hitting this deck. That 87mm is really going to help. Our Citadel belt is actually above the waterline here if we take a look. That's direct hit into her Citadel if you get close enough. Turn on the bulges. And then below the waterline, the torpedo bulge itself has 178 mils to arm the shell. It's a nice looking ship. Multi-layered deck, so you got this 87mm you're going to have to go through. And then you get another 50mm deck. And then the Citadel itself is 50 mils. So that's 187mm of total armor thickness you're going to have to punch through. With all the other calculations. To plunge through all that. And then that 87mm is going to arm the shell. So the shell's probably going to detonate before it gets to that Citadel. Aircraft. F4U Corsairs. Torpedo bombers get the AD-1 Sky Raider. I don't know if this will change for us on Legends, but they shoot 2 small torpedoes. Kind of cool. You can see kind of them there. And then you get the AD-1 Sky Raider bomber. Pretty cool. Maneuverability, she's scooting along at 33 knots just like Lexington. So they're very capable ships. And like me and that guy talked about, this one might become a legendary ship at some point. Or they're just going to scale it down. But I really don't think any of these armor layouts are going to change on these ships. Like that armor layout on this just looks like it should be a legendary ship if it's going to be in the game. Alright, well that's the American Aircraft Carrier Tech Tree line. trying to pull as much info I can from the computer version for us to look at, for you guys to look at, you know, study some of these armor layouts. You guys feel free to pause the video when I have that armor viewer up, and just take your time looking at the armor views and seeing if you can find any weaknesses in the ships, you know, stuff like that. Alright, I don't want to make the video too long. I'll catch you guys in the next video. If you haven't already subscribed, consider it. Leave a like, leave a comment. It really helps other people get a chance to see the video, helps the channel out. And stay tuned for the Japanese aircraft carrier line video coming out soon.